Let the vengeance begin!
Howdy, howdy, ShadowOnline here, and welcome to Game 2 of Shadow Online Gaming's tournament, where I am playing the Vampire Counts versus Chaos, which is being played by Turin. Now, in this game, last time I played Turin was in this very tournament, and I brought the dwarves and he brought Chaos, and I know he loves Chaos, he knows I play the dwarves, so I thought, well, he'll probably bring Chaos again if he plays me in a tournament, or an anti-dwarf faction, so I thought I would play the Vampire Counts because they're generally a good counter to a number of factions that are good counters to dwarfs. So that's what I did, and he indeed brought his Chaos army. So for this army, I really brought just 5 units of zombies for chaff. They're only 100 gold each. We have some armor-piercing Graveguard with great weapons, very much like Professor Pond had in the first game against me with his Vampire Counts versus Lijman. I do have a Corpse Cart with an Unholy Lodestone, and that is for the heals, the regeneration, and also for the buff +5 melee attack, +5 melee defense. I do have to defend my backline against big things, 3 Skeleton Spearmen, and I have 1 unit of Blood Knights. Now, I did actually expect Marauder Horsemen. I know Turin likes to play with those guys, so I brought the Dire Pack to kind of be hidden to pounce on those. And for my core, I got a Terrorgeist, and obviously Terrorgeist has regeneration, breath attack, and anti-large, causes terror and poison, and we've got Manfred von Karstein on a dragon, and for his items I got Master of the Black Arts, so he gets a ton of magic, and we also have Raise Dead for the summons, Gaze of Nagash, just in case he brought a giant, Invocation and the Heck for the heals, the Fate of Buna for important stuff, like really I was going to use that on the Marauder Horseman, and Spirit Leech for Summoners of Rage, which I expected, and of course he has the Breath spell. Now for Turin's army, not quite what I expected, but similar. He brought 3 units of Chosen with Halberds, no, 2, and he brought Chaos Warriors with Halberds, 2 of them, and he's got some Chaos Marauders. For his main core, he does have a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, which is armor piercing and I believe anti-large. Let's see what, I think he's anti-large. Yeah, bonus versus large to 30, and he's got Kolek Sun Eater, which also has a bonus versus large, I think, of 28. And he has the Summoners of Rage, which I figured were coming, and they actually have a bound spell. They're a really cool unit, actually. They have a bound spell with Chain Lightning. They want 1 use, and they do magic damage, and they also have a very good bonus large for 26. And he actually has a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. And he has, I believe he has 2 spells. 3. He does have the Scroll of Shield for 22% damage resistance. He has the Burning Head for clearing out chaff, and Flaming Sword of Ruin for buffing up things with fire damage, 25% weapon damage and 25% missile damage. He does have Fireball, and he has Kindle Flame. So, and he has Evasion. So we're going to get this going. So I actually put my army really far back, and because I want to get my magic going, I want to try and start focusing with these guys on working down his lords and stuff. So I'm going to send these guys as far back, and then I'm going to give a command for all of them to go forward. Of course, I am very slow, but the reason is I want them to go forward as slow as possible. Both are attackers in this game, and I'm just going to keep this guy hidden. I just want to get these guys over and start getting my Spirit Leeches on, and the Summoners of Rage, and I want to start getting my spells cast. Okay, there we go. Okay, I do got them going. I went, and the very first thing, I've been following my coach's instructions, my coach Boss, and I looked at all his magic spells to make sure, and he did. I saw that he had Fireball, so I knew he was going to have a chance to get me. So I have to come up, so I'm going to slowly walk up, actually just like Professor Pond did, because I don't want this engagement right away. I want to let my magic go to work first. So I want to go over and actually just harass him and try and get some breath spells onto the Chosen and onto the Summoners of Rage, and he's looking to cast some spells, so I think we got some breath there. I'm not sure who I sent that after, but it didn't look like I did a good job of it. I do have Master of the Black Arts going, yeah, and I'm going to try and get a breath going here. It actually does really good, taking off, you know, almost 2,000 HP, which is actually quite good. So he's marching forward about as quick as he can, and I'm really just trying to harass as he goes forward. Like, I was expecting Marauder Horsemasters, so I was a little bit. Well, am I going to get the Fate of Buna on this guy? No. Summoner's Rage. I've got Spirit Leech. So I'm going to Spirit Leech on Summoner's Rage, and I want Fate of Buna, and he shoots a fireball at Manfred. He does hit him, and I get the Fate of Buna on the Chosen with Halberd. So slowly walking him up, and slowly walking up my zombies to engage, because you're both attackers. Now these guys I don't really know what to do with. They were meant to be sort of a surprise, and they are anti-large actually, and really try to chase off units as they get close. So I'm just sort of looking around for a chance to dive into anything if I can on the way, and sort of get some free damage. But he's being really careful. You can see he's just moving everything up and around, and just moving and keeping everything very, very tight in here, you know, so that there's nothing I can really dive. In comes another fire. I see that, and I think I try to dodge it. Yeah, I do. Oh, I did dodge it. Okay, well, how about that? I'm really trying to look for a place to dive, but it's really, really difficult, because I mean, these guys are actually pretty quick. They got 64 speed, 76 speed, and 78 speed. So really, I'm just bringing up my army very slowly. And I thought, well, I might as well bring these guys out, because I'm just going to bring them out, and I'm going to sort of set up around behind him somewhere, because he doesn't got anything that can catch him or shoot him. So I'm just looking for these, whatever kind of thing I can dive, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get that chance. I have Master of the Black Arts going again, and really I just want to find a good place to get that fight going. And in comes the... I think, do I got another breath? Yep, another breath on those Chosen with the Terrorgeist. And I think I'm going to look for somewhere to dive with Manfred. And in comes the start of the fight. I do want to pull back just a smidge to try and get these guys engaged. I do want to get my corpse card up here, and I really want to make sure that I get that engagement. So we're going to get the halberds in there. I'm going to get the Graveguard with great weapons in the front. I'm going to start this engagement in here in earnest. I've got the doggos around back, and now... Here he comes with these Kolek Sun Eater. He's going to come in right after this corpse card. This is actually a really pretty move. I go in there with the Blood Knights to try and get some shots on Kolek, and he just pulls him back, and then he absolutely collapses everything in on my Blood Knights. You know what? I didn't even see this. I thought he was through there. I was pulling my corpse card, and then I was trying to get my Terrorgeist around and Manfred von Karstein around, and he's just absolutely obliterating my Blood Knights. You know, really tough. And then in comes a Burning Head. He got a really, really beautiful Burning Head here. He's got armor. I mean, I don't have a ton of armor, and it's just going down the entire line. It's getting some damage on his guys, but it's getting lots of damage on my guys. I dive in. I want to get onto the Chosen with halberds and just try and terror rout them. I've got the Spearman coming in to try and support here. I brought in the Terrorgeist. I want to try and support here, but he's already got my Blood Knight's down. He got a free kill, so I try to rear charge here with the Dire Pack and really pin them in and get my Spearman in here. But he's really kicking the snot out of my Terrorgeist. Like, he's got everybody on him, so I got my Terrorgeist. I got to get up and around, and I want to get my Spearman in to help defend with these Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and I got Manfred von Karstein there. I do have some zombies with these Chaos Marauders, which is what I want, and I've got everyone coming in, and really he's just trying to pull right back through the line. And what's he putting in here? Am I putting a... What is this? Oh, that's that spell, that bound spell. So I'm like, okay, I've got to get after the Summoners of Rage. That's what my target is at this point. I really want to get him. He gets another Burning Head right down my line. This is really very, very much like Lord Croak just taking out the infantry. This Burning Head is taking out my chaff. So I'm like, okay, I got to get in and get those Summoners of Rage. So I do try and rear charge the Chosen with halberds, and I do get the terror route on them. I get my zombie dragon in on the summoners. Sorry, I get him in on this. I try to focus on the summoners. He's got his dragon ogres right here, and he's got my zombie dragon absolutely pinned. He's doing a really good job of doing this. You know, I've seen Turin play this match. He says this is a hard match, but he knows how to play it. So he absolutely surrounds me, so my zombie dragon cannot escape. He's got the Summoners of Rage here on this side, and he's got his Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. I'm going to try and get a rear charge on Kolek with Manfred and get the rest of my troops in. My troops are doing okay despite the the loss over here. I mean, I do have Graveguard with great weapons, 2 units of them. I do have my corpse cart. I come over here, and what have we got? We got a Flaming Sword of Ruin, and this is really, I think, what seals the whole deal. He just absolutely destroys my zombie dragon, and Manfred von Carstein, my Terrorgeist rather, and Manfred is on the way. Really, now there's just sort of cleanup duty. I don't have anything big that sort of can deal with him anymore, so I'm just really trying to still focus on the Summoners of Rage. I do want to finish those guys off, at least to try, and so I thought I'd get a free charge on the Chaos Marauders, and I'd just be able to kind of pull right through and get a little bit of free damage. And yeah, he comes to try and chase me down. I will get back up in the air. But now he's just going after the Graveguard with great weapons, the Skeleton Spearmen, and the rest of this line is actually pretty strong. And we're going to bring in these Graveguard, and I'm bringing my Corpse Card in here to support everyone. What has he got going here? In comes another Fireball, hits Manfred right in the gut, and he's going to bring around these Chaos Marauders, really try and get that rear charge. I'm looking for something to do in here. I really want to start trying at least get some damage with Manfred. I'd get him on the ground. You know, I don't normally play with dragons, being a dwarf player, but I thought, well, I'll go in here and try and get a terror out on the Chaos Marauders and get some damage done so I can at least slowly start whittling them down, because I got Spearmen over here fighting, which is actually not too awful. The Corpse Cart now is his next target, so he's actually pulling everyone through to get onto that Corpse Cart. I get back in the air with Manfred, and I have Master of the Black Arts going in, and Invocation of Nehek to try and get some health back. And really, I haven't been very good with my heals or an Invocation of Nehek, but I see the Summoners of Rage, I'm like, okay, I might as well just go and attack them. Everything is getting whittled down here, so I really... I go in for a quick charge here. I do notice these guys. I'm like, I really got to go get them. But I go in for a quick charge here, and I want to try and get back out so that I can get back up in the air and then go for another charge. So I'm going to try and sneak out to this side, but it's really hard. Like, these things are so big, and you see they're beating the tar out of me. And I was just looking for a place a way to sort of get out of that situation. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna move over, and I see these guys over here. I instantly put my attack orders on the Summoners of Rage. I thought, well, they're down. Maybe I can terror out them. They are not immune to terror. I get a breath spell on the Chaos Warriors Halberds first. I keep jumping forward because I remember so clearly going after these Summoners of Rage. There goes my breath spell. Actually, it does pretty good against the Chaos Warriors with Halberds. And you can see, for most of the infantry, I've managed to get most of his infantry, and then I dive in on the Summoners of Rage. Because what I'm doing is I'm hoping for a terror route. And, you know, he obviously is going to try and come after Manfred, but the Summoners of Rage are holding their own just fine. And now they've got Manfred crumbling, and boom, Manfred's gone, and the rest of my army is soon to follow. Whew! Intense match. You know, it's funny is that the Vampire Counts have a pretty big advantage against the Warriors of Chaos, but they have a big deficit versus the Lizardmen. But both of the builds to fight this are pretty similar. Like, the Lizardmen had 2 Feral Carnosaurs, whereas the Warriors of Chaos had Kolek and a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. I had I had the Temple Guard, where he had the Chosen with Halberds, and I actually, where he had the Summoners of Rage, I had the Solar Engine for the shots, and he brought a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire to go through my trash infantry, and that's where I had Lord Croak. So really interesting, but the Lizardmen are just much better in terms of their total makeup, but the optimum build has very similar ideas. So really, really interesting game. And, you know, I actually really did think, like, I kind of put together at what I thought he was going to bring, and I did the same analysis when I played the Dawi against him and got most of it right. But really, the big thing is I thought he was going to bring a giant to go through my chaff. And possibly a giant, possibly an Archaon, and then bring Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and the Summoners of Rage, and then bring the Marauders to actually deal with trying to get Manfred von Carstein and the Terrorgeist out of the sky. So my plan was actually to use these Dire Pack to sneak attack them, really to wear them down with Fate of Buna, and then to really try to get these dire pack in to sneak attack them. And you know, obviously that didn't work. I know. It was actually a really like, it's funny. So I like when you say, like, I say I threw away my Blood Knights. My Blood Knights got 2 kills, and I'll say that. But he also made a really nice play, because like he came through, he got a shot on the corpse cart, and then I saw that and I'm like, oh, he's coming to attack my back line. I'm going to send my Blood Knights in, because it was just Kolek. And then he retreated Kolek and then collapsed on my Blood Knights, and I didn't see it at that time. I was already on to microing Manfred and the Terrorgeist. I thought, well, I'll just protect my corpse cart and we can fight in there. And he got that. That was a very nice pick and very nice play by him in the very, very early part of the match, which gave him a lot of ability to get around. Now, I was working with my coach at Worker Boss a little bit, and there's different ways to kind of do this build. And you can use a Mortis Engine and Crypt Horrors to help stop things from, like Kolek, from getting to your Mortis Engine, because Crypt Horrors have enough mass to stop them. But I really struggled keeping that Crypt Horror in the fight when I did my practice matches, and so we looked at a different way to protect my backline and just have a simple corpse cart, which doesn't have to be in melee. And you can see, actually, Professor Pawn brought a corpse cart as well instead of a Mortis Engine, probably for the same idea against my Lizardmen. So, anyways, you know, I didn't play it really wonderfully, but Turin also played really, really strong. Like, he was, he sort of chatted a little bit, and he said, oh, that's a tough matchup, and I know he believes it is the toughest matchup against the Chaos, against the Warriors of Chaos, which is why I picked the Vampire accounts, because it was blind picks. You had to guess what your opponent was going to bring, and, you know, I guessed he was going to bring Chaos, and he did. So, and even if he brought another anti-Dowie like Beastman, or, you know, I think the Vampire accounts would do good against other anti-Dowie factions in general. So, great fun fight. Love to hear from me down below. We're 1-1 right now, and we have one more game left in the round robin, and that'll be against ShadowOnlineGaming, the host. And that should be really fun. Love to hear from you down below. I always ask for comments because I really do love them. Have you played this matchup? I mean, this is the first time I ever played it as the Vampire Counts. Do you know, have you played it from the Vampire Count side or the Warriors of Chaos side? What do you think of the builds, either the Vampire build or the Chaos build? And you know, I absolutely would love to hear from you. Even if you're dropping in to say hello, I'll say hi back. So with that said, I hope you found it interesting, and I will see you soon.